can do this. Well, welcome. My name is Missy Hilmer, for those of you who I have not met or have not met me before. Hopefully you can all see me. If not, please feel free to move or get where you can if you want to see me. You don't have to, I guess. Today I'm going to talk about the topic on how to embrace grief and use it to fuel your life. I guess my first question is that even possible? Do you think that's even possible to do? Do you think that it's possible to fuel your life by embracing grief? Well, Ellen D. Wolfelt, who has a PhD and writes the book in Understanding Your Grief, he says this: yes, as crazy as it may sound, your pain is the key that opens your heart and ushers you on your way to healing. What does that really mean, right? So it means in order to heal, we must honor our pain. We must allow ourselves to feel it, like pricking our finger. We have to feel the pain. We have to experience the pain, and we have to acknowledge it. We have to acknowledge that we actually have pain. And grief is as normal as waking up and turning on the light. It's as normal as joy. It's as normal as smiling. It's as normal as can be. God made us that way. He made us to where we experience something, whether it's good or bad, and grief is one of those. It's a process, I would say, and it requires a personal choice. So healing from grief is not something that we just do and it just happens. It's something that we have to intentionally be ready and willing to do. It's a choice to show up, a choice to do the work, a choice to be honest about the feelings that we feel. And I'm sure you are feeling some feelings right now. And they're not all happy and good. Psalm 34:18 reminds us, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. God does not ask us to rush our pain. He meets us in the middle of it, right through all the ugliness, all through the goodness, all through the badness. But it begins with naming it. So acknowledging somebody that we most dearly love or we're close to is gone. Someone that is not going to come back from a vacation, from a trip, from work, from school, from church, and the list goes on. That person is no longer with us. And that is how we acknowledge it and name it. It's really, really hard. I mean, it seems like an easy step, like saying, I lost someone. But it's really hard because it becomes real when we say that. It becomes very, very real. Like we're not going to wake up and the dream's going to be over, or we roll over to the other side and come back and they're there. They're not. And it's hard because many times I think we're taught that pain, whatever the pain looks like, it makes us feel weak. And if we're hurting, then something must be wrong. And many times we're encouraged to avoid it, to stuff it, to make it feel like it's not there, it's never been there, to numb it. And those are the things that we do just so we don't feel that hurt. And when the pain feels uncomfortable, like many times that it does, we fear that it will last forever. I think so many times in grief we think that it's going to be forever. It's going to be for the rest of my life I'm going to feel like this. But it's not. If we walk through it, if we do not allow ourselves to stuff it and bury it. When we don't allow ourselves to move through the normal emotions of grief, the thing about it is it doesn't disappear. It lingers. It kind of comes back and nudges us again, pokes us. And oftentimes it becomes very demanding and very loud, very persistent, very ugly, and more painful than it was had we just walked through the normal emotions of grief. I was told once that sometimes people, the best way they have been described is they're alive, we're here, we go through the daily emotions, but we're really not living. We're just barely surviving. It's because they've never given themselves permission to actually grieve, to actually walk through and feel the emotions that you feel. I think one of the most frightening parts of grief is that there's no instruction book, there's no manual, there's no start, there's no stop, there's no rules. I mean, grief, that's how it is. It may have like 5 or 7 key things that you're probably going to experience, and it looks like it's in a perfect little circle, and it's going to come back around that I have a starting point, I have an ending point. But I guarantee you, I've said it many a times, it's like a vicious, snarled up, ratted nest that never goes in the same way every time. And you will start here, you'll end here, you'll come back around and do it all again, because that's just part of grief. It's important to understand that that you cannot embrace the pain of losing a loved one all at once. So we can't just say, okay, so today's my day, I'm going to just get over my grief, I'm going to move on, and it's going to be okay. Today's the day. I'm going to spend all day and I'm going to do it. But you can't, because God made us in the way that we experience grief through moments, through days, through waves. Our body is not even designed to do that. There's just no way we can emotionally, physically handle that. And thank goodness, because He knows best. He designed us in the way that we have to grieve in doses, small doses. And that's why I don't ask someone ever, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Because that one question encompasses so many emotions. Well, I'm feeling right now anxious. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling confused, and I'm really mad. So when you ask them that question, they're kind of like, well, which answer what does she want? So they will say, I'm fine. And fine for the majority of us means I don't want to talk about it. And for the person asking many a times is saying, I'm doing my job and I'm offering you to talk, but I really know you're not going to. So I'm going to ask this question and you're going to say fine and we're going to drop it. But that has done nothing for the person that has lost a loved one. So I would rather ask the question, how are you doing right now? Right now, right in this moment. Because right now, you might be feeling, I feel good right now. I got a good night's sleep, I feel good. But then when you think about it, maybe an hour later, you're thinking like, well, I can't feel good because I just lost my whoever. And you really thought through. But in the moment, it's okay. You can go through small segments, small doses. So I would encourage you even just to tell whoever, your loved one or a friend or whoever, if they say, well, what can I do to help you? Well, when you ask me how I'm doing right now. I can answer that. I don't feel overwhelmed. Even though you might, but it's easier to answer one small question. like I said, we feel our pain in small portions and in waves. You can only handle it moment by moment in the beginning, minute by minute, sometimes hour by hour. And that's even a stretch if it's very, very new and raw. But then over time, that's going to linger longer, be more doable. You can sit with it longer. You can feel more feelings. I'm sure there's lots of you that can feel that, right? Like, it's hard right now. It's hard. But just as important as feeling the pain is allowing yourself to rest in it. Just like God gave us the bodies to feel our grief in doses, He gave us our bodies that need rest. You have to give yourself permission to pause and process. Pause and process. So if you're having a hard time, maybe it's doing something that makes you feel good. Maybe it's like, I have to get out of the house, go on a walk. Maybe it's calling a friend. Maybe it's going for coffee. It's whatever that will help you take a deep breath, get some fresh air, and find that joy in the moment. Because I can honestly tell you, grief is exhausting. And I'm sure you say the same. I can never say that word. Scripture, or book. Anyway.
Ecclesiastes.
Thank you, Ecclesiastes. I say it in the wrong pronunciation. 3, 1, and 4. There is a time for everything. A time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Grief has a season, and rest is part of that season. Your loss will never fully leave you. For me, it'll be 13 years in August that I've lost my son, and it's still there. I can tell you for a fact, though, it's not still there the same intensity as it was 13 years ago on the day that it happened. But it's not healthy for us to sit in that, to be thinking of it from the time we get up until the time we go to bed, because it can cause us to go into the deep, dark depths of depression. Do those things that allow us to stuff that feeling into places that we can't get back. It means that we need to find healthy ways to move forward, and that we also have other responsibilities. Whether you have somebody else where you're at, a family living with you, or just somebody, it's important to know that you have other responsibilities, even if it's just yourself. So, how is it even possible to use grief to fuel your life? Number one thing, mindset. Mindset. And I want to share with you some things that I have learned personally through my time of loss, that it was my mindset that has helped me to move forward. One, after losing Tyler, I had to come to the hard, honest place that I couldn't change what happened. It was out of my control, no matter how much I wanted to control it or change it. And I chose that I wanted to move forward. I learned that healing doesn't come by accident, it comes by intention. So I had to be intentional on making that choice. I had to be willing to heal, even on the days that were hard. But Romans 12:2 reminds us, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. 2, my life would never be the same. I knew personally I would never feel the same. I would never act the same. I would never be the same. Because I just had some major life moment happen. And it does change us. But I also realized I did not have to stay stuck in that pain. I had a choice. I could move forward, or I could not. No one said I had to. I got to make that choice. But with God's help, I chose to move forward with purpose and hope. Not because the hurt was less, but because Jesus was carrying me. He was the one there with me all the time. Psalm 34:18 reminds us, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. I know I said that before, but that is so powerful. 3, using grief to fuel your life doesn't mean ignoring the pain. It means allowing God to meet you in the pain. So many times we think that we're alone, that we have to do it on our own. We have to just be tough and strong. I remember that with my daughter, I thought, I'm her mom. I can't show her my tears. I can't show her that I'm sad. I can't show her that I'm unhappy. But she knew. She could see it. She could feel it. And maybe I don't share everything, but we talk. So it was at that point that I realized that it's okay. God gave us tears for a reason. And it's okay to cry. Sometimes those are even cleansing tears, even though in the moment it may not feel like it. And I realized that there are days that I won't even have any of the answers, or could answer any questions that she had. But over time, I learned that I really didn't need to answer those questions. I just needed to take the next step forward by trusting God. 2 Corinthians 5:7, for we walk by faith, not by sight. And 4, one of the most freeing truths I learned is that there's no prize for who gets to the end first. No prize for who heals, who gets there, and there's no deadline, and there's not even a race. It's a journey. Grief just, I wish so many people would understand that it's a process. It's a journey. It's an ebb and a flow. I gave myself permission to heal. I noticed a quiet peace once I did that. I could settle in. I began to see God working. My soul just seemed to be soothed more than anything else did for me. The ache started to subside. And I want to remind you, just because your ache may start to subside, that does not mean that you're forgetting your loved one. It just means that you're starting to heal. John 14:27 reminds us, peace I leave you, my peace I give you. And 5, little by little, I discovered that healing doesn't mean leaving Tyler behind. So many times people think, if I move forward, I'm going to forget them. But yet, when we move forward, we help ourselves heal, and we take them right with us all the time. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of a little nugget that he would have said, or something he would have done, or something our family would have encountered. Or we're at a new time in a new place now, like my oldest son got married. He was there. We talked about him. We did stuff that he would have done. It means choosing to live in a way that honors their life, that deepens our faith and allows God to use our pain for something greater than we could ever imagine. And some of you may have been here during the Day of Remembrance, and I shared that the night of the accident, God spoke to me, and he told me that he was going to take this bad situation and turn it to good, to give him glory. And this is what I talk about. You're not leaving him behind. You're bringing the legacy of what he had and it has forward to share with others. And Romans 8:28 says, And we know that all things God works for the good of those who love him. Those who love him. So I want to go back to where we all began. To heal, we must honor our pain. We must allow ourselves to feel, experience, and acknowledge it. Grief is as normal as smiling is. And healing doesn't simply just happen. Healing is a process which requires a choice that we each get to make. And that I want to say a little more on that too. Just because I make the choice doesn't mean the next person in my family is going to make that same choice. It's very common that you will be on two different pages going through your grieving process, because everyone grieves differently at different paces and different levels and different times. So it would be very normal. My husband and I definitely grieved at different rates. It could also mean that you're at different areas of your faith too. A choice to show up, it's a choice to do the work, and a choice to be honest about what we are feeling. We never have all the answers. You may never fully understand why, and you don't need to. When Jesus is your source, healing begins that moment. You choose to take the next step. One moment, one day, 1 hour at a time. And that's where healing begins. So I'm going to leave you with something here. We're going to do a little exercise. And it's not an exercise you have to jump around. You're going to sit in your chair. But I do want you to close your eyes if you can. Just stay right where you're at. And I'm going to navigate you down this road. Okay. So what I want you to do, I just want you to relax a minute. And I want you to picture the most beautiful sunrise or sunset that you have ever seen. I'll give you a couple minutes. What colors filled the sky? Where were you at when you saw it? How long did you sit there and just watch that beautiful sunset? Do you remember? Was there a breeze? Was it warm? Were you inside? Were you outside? And what were you thinking or feeling in that moment? Do you remember? You can open your eyes. So here's what I want you to remember. That sunrise or sunset didn't rush the process. The colors didn't just all appear at once. The beauty came gradually, sometimes in layers by layer, moment by moment. And God painted one of those just for you every single day. Even on the cloudy days, look at the clouds. He created those for you. Even on the dark nights, he created the stars. He created the moon just for you. Even in the middle of the pain, and even when you cannot see all the details, he made it. Sometimes in the quiet moment, when you finally allow yourself to feel, God is with you every day. So what if we slowed down long enough to notice his work? Those sunrises, sunsets, clouds, stars, moon, and allowed the same gentle process to bring healing to our hearts. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to honor your pain? Are you willing to make the choice to get down in the nitty-gritty of all the stuff that we each bring and then do the work to start to heal? I can promise you one thing. It will not be easy. I can promise you that. There will be ups and there will be downs. But yes, it will be worth it. Because just like the sunrise or sunset, beauty comes after the darkness. And healing comes when we allow the process to unfold. One moment, 1 hour, 1 day at a time. So now I would like to say a prayer for us as we finish up this part of our time together, and then we'll go into the next section. So if you bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us all these wise words, this grief ministry, your leads, your helpers, this church. We are so grateful for you, Jesus, to help teach us how to walk beside each of our friends here today. We know when Jesus is our source, healing begins the moment we choose to take the next step, one moment at a time. We know that you will walk every step with us through the hard, the bad, the good, and the ugly. We know the first step is up to us, and that it does not last forever, but through a season. Lord, please comfort and guide and prepare each person here to take that next step. Give us a safe travel home as we go home later. And we just ask all these things in your mighty name. Amen. So now our next section that we usually do is, I like to give us a break and do the bathroom if you want to refresh.